Hello and regards from the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna. My name is Dobi Savic and I'm in charge of the Nuclear Information section at the agency. Today, I would like to talk about the future of information management. But before I dive into the main topic of my presentation, please allow me to tell you very briefly about the Nuclear Information section and our work here. There are three organizational parts of the Nuclear Information section. They are the IAEA Library, the International Nuclear Information System, also known as INIS, and the System Development and Support Group. INIS is one of the world's largest and oldest repositories of nuclear information. It was established 51 years ago, and today its membership comprises 132 states and a dozen international organizations. Its collection has 4.5 million freely accessible records, of which about 40% are full-text documents. The rest are bibliographic records. Annually, 1.7 million users open over 4 million pages and make 3.7 million downloads. The IAEA library was established in 1957 at the same time as the agency. It is a special library focusing on nuclear-related subjects. There are over 100,000 books and documents with access to 56,000 periodical titles. We offer standard library services such as loans, article and document delivery, search support, and centralized procurement of documentation. The job of SDSG, a small group of IT specialists, is to support all INIS and library systems and applications. The group maintains existing but also develops new IT solutions. We currently use CRM Core for the library system, Elasticsearch, many in-house developed applications, and some new technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and harvesting. Let me now go to the main topic of my presentation today, which is the future of information management. The change from analog to digital is upon us. Economy and society, science and education, culture and politics, and our private and business lives are all undergoing digital transformation. Within a short period of time, we moved from experimentation to implementation. Some of the most advanced and complex systems based on artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation, big data, and other information technology intensive applications are being successfully deployed. The presentation will cover the following topics: introduction, digital transformation, information management, 5 V's of information data, impacts of digital transformation on information management, and conclusions. The presentation looks at the impact of digital transformation on the future of information management. While looking at enablers and drivers of digital transformation, 3 possible scenarios for the future of information management will be considered. The first major impact is that of digital transformation on information management products and services, so-called digital goods. The second impact is on information management processes, or so-called operational agility. A very important change to be expected is that of relationships with customers, customer centricity. It is expected to have a considerable impact on the information management workforce, so special attention will be devoted to workforce requirements for achieving successful digital transformation of information management. The role of leadership will also be covered, as well as the information management sustainability. Let us first try to define, using some simple terms, the meaning of digital transformation. Digital transformation is about doing things differently, creating a completely new business model by using modern information and computer technologies. Digital transformation leverages existing knowledge to profoundly change the essence of the organization, its culture, management strategy, technological mix, and operational setup. It places the customer at the center of all its decisions and actions. A number of IT developments played a major role in enabling digital transformation. The following developments were of special importance: the dynamic increase of IT processing power, communication speed, the introduction of automation and robotics, the appearance of augmented, virtual, and mixed reality, artificial intelligence and machine learning, information harvesting, federated searches, natural language processing and semantic analysis, big data, strong analytics, and powerful visualization. The drivers behind the push for the use of digital transformation are strong competition, financial pressure, user expectations, and the side effects of the pandemic, something usually referred to as a new normal. We need to keep in mind that the existence and use of modern and powerful IT tools is not enough. Organizations need strong management, solid vision, and forward-looking leadership. New business models also need to be created using available IT solutions, leveraging existing knowledge, and profoundly changing the essence of organizations, their culture, management strategy, technology mix, and operational setup. All this is geared toward pursuing new revenue opportunity streams, creating new products, and inventing new services. Information management is an activity aimed at capturing, managing, preserving, storing, and delivering the right information to the right people at the right time. Information includes both electronic and physical information. It takes the form of electronic data, paper or electronic documents, audio, social, business, video, etc. It can be delivered through multiple channels that may include paper, mobile devices, or internet. The organizational structure must be capable of managing information throughout the information lifecycle regardless of source or format. For many decades, information management was closely related to library management and remained almost unchanged. However, while library management included the provision of access to information in literary, social, and technical forms, along with library professionals helping visitors looking for information and knowledge, information management concentrated more on the information cycle, the acquisition and processing of information, maintenance and ownership, the distribution of information, and, as a final step, its ultimate removal, either into archives or its disposal through destruction. The introduction of computers challenged almost every aspect of the concept of a classic library, as well as of that of the information management. Libraries lost their basic characteristic of having a physical location, moved from thousands of physical books into documents to millions of electronic files, and replaced their catalogs with new retrieval tools. Unfortunately, they also lost the need to have professional librarians on board to offer their assistance to patrons. Information management almost completely moved to an online world, where the majority of processing was done using automated and sophisticated computer programs, and where searches were performed with the help of complex algorithms. Limitless storage capacity lessened the need for information and data curation and almost removed the need for its disposal. So, what are the possible scenarios for the future of information management? Even a light review of these scenarios indicates that there are very different predictions and views. Minimalists believe that information management is already well developed and automated, so even with a small change, it is well suited for the future. In other words, information management will stay more or less as it is today. Another group of researchers and some futurists take a medium evolutionary road. They advocate for some large but slow change. According to them, information management will undergo transformation through augmentation, but would remain recognizable with what we consider today as classic information management. A growing group of researchers interested in the future of information management foresee a major change coming. Information management will undergo substantial transformation and become barely recognizable with and comparable to what it is today. In other words, highly automated collections of electronic texts manipulated by sophisticated artificial intelligence-based applications offering text understanding and interpretation, aggregation of ideas, intelligent augmentation, and a complex presentation of existing concepts will become the future of information management. A group of futurists goes even further, taking the view that there will be no information management in the future, or at least not the information management as we know it now. Instead, intelligent machines of extreme quantum computing power, containing all knowledge ever recorded, dealing with knowledge qubits, will be capable of coming up with new ideas and offering creative solutions. It does sound like science fiction, but we should not forget that even today, many parts of that immense system already exist or are being developed. Digital transformation already impacts all 5 facets of data and information. It changes the variety of digital goods, their volume, veracity, velocity, and also their value. Variety. Due to automation and digital transformation, a multiple variety of formats of information are being created. If we consider only Grey literature, the GreyNet website alone lists over 150 specific document types. Today, information is being collected from the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, machine-to-machine communication, automated financial services, self-driven cars, robots, sensors, security system, surveillance cameras, and many more. There are also billions of specific network devices using unique and often proprietary formats. It is obvious that a common approach to handling such a great variety of formats, resources, and types of information is not an easy task, using existing practices, taxonomies, and the scope of methods and principles. This variety of formats requires constant updates of forms and approaches to their capture and management. Volume. The huge amount of data generated and its speed of growth are detrimental factors. According to some estimates, there were 59 zettabytes of data in 2020, out of which 90% has been generated over the last 2 years. Every day brings 2.5 exabytes of new data, the equivalent of 250,000 Libraries of Congress. It is a number very difficult to comprehend and even more difficult to manage. There were over 5.22 billion unique mobile users, 4.66 billion internet users, and 4.2 billion active social media users in the world in January 2021. The growth of these numbers will most likely continue. There were more than 250 million daily application downloads between 2019 and 2020, and a total of 218 billion applications downloads in 2020. Statistics tell us that there are over 4 billion e-commerce users around the world. Because of the pandemic, e-commerce sales have grown substantially, with 36% of retail consumers shopping online weekly since the outbreak of the COVID-19, as opposed to 28% before. In addition, there are 130 million published books worldwide, with around 2.2 million new titles added annually. In other words, a very large volume of data and information needs to be properly and efficiently managed. Veracity. Trustworthiness and the reliability of information is another huge problem and is expected to increase even further with digital transformation. Examples are numerous. They include spam email, fake news, computer bots, botnets, web spiders, crawlers, viruses, trojans, disinformation, misinformation, and many other malicious forms that make veracity a real problem. Velocity. Currently, it takes 13 minutes to download the content of a DVD, around 4.7 gigabytes, over a DSL line, with a bandwidth of 50 megabits per second. A 5G-enabled smartphone or laptop could download the content of an entire DVD in just 4 seconds. 5G technology involves more than just transfer speed. Availability and reliability are other decisive factors that make the role of information management challenging, especially taking into account the expected duration of reference replies and the required quality of information available. Value. Data is being widely commercialized, sold and resold, bringing a whole new spectrum of issues, required skills and organizational changes. With the change of the originally intended purpose of information and data comes the change in the role of information management. The notion that the value of information and data is not being depleted after consumption requires a strategic approach. The question is what data, in which context, and over which period of time still represents a valuable resource. This opens a number of very important information management issues, such as its storage, long-term preservation, interoperability, and reusability. The impact that digital transformation will make on information management can be grouped in 5 larger areas. They are the change in products and services, so-called digital goods, the overhaul of processes or operational agility, new relationships with customers, customer centricity, workforce requirements and success factors, and sustainability. Digital goods. The first Assyrian library in the 7th century BC, located at Nineveh in modern-day Iraq, included some 30,000 cuneiform tablets organized according to subject. Today, worldwide, 2.2 million books are published annually. The Library of Congress hosts 170 million items. Amazon, a newly created holding and selling place, holds 50 million books. Google, the biggest library ever created, has a gigantic collection of 56.5 billion web pages. And as you already know, Innis hosts around 4.5 million records and adds over 100,000 records annually. Scientific and technical literature and information is growing at exponential speeds. There is hardly any area of human activity that does not require the heavy involvement of science, scientific writings, open access, and open science. Regarding the future, we can only wonder what tomorrow's versions of AI-powered virtual assistants will bring. How will future versions of Amazon Alexa, Apple Siri, Google Assistant, and Baidu Duer change our world? Operational agility is the ability of an organization to flex and adapt its operation, technology, and information to constantly evolving business requirements brought about by digital transformation, market dynamics, competitive pressures, and business turbulence. It is regarded as the next level of business resiliency. Organizations with operations that are flexible enough to adapt to change are in a better position to maintain continuous business operations while safeguarding their people, customers, business, and information flows. To be operationally agile, information management needs to identify opportunities and threats it faces, focus on interdisciplinary teamwork, plan their regular and development work, and encourage innovation. New relationships with customers or customer centricity. One of the strongest characteristics of information managers is their orientation towards delivery of high-class customer service. The focus of digital transformation is on customers, which gives considerable advantage to the information management professionals in meeting the needs of the future work environment. As we contemplate the future of information management, a recurring theme surfaces that the sustainable future of information management is not so much in information retrieval and document management, but rather in top-notch customer service. The main requirements include high-quality communication and listening skills, patron-focused spaces, customer service practices and their personalization, customer satisfaction monitoring, and the use of proper metrics. The goal is to provide a positive experience and build long-term relationships. Workforce competences. The advance of technology almost always outpaces existing workplace structures, and that is also the case with digital transformation. Lines of command, strict hierarchy, no agility, long decision-making processes, lack of flexibility, complex structures, and legacy human resource solutions are just some issues companies undergoing transformation have to deal with. The impact will be felt by information managers as well as by the information management workforce in general. The expectation is that the change will be multifaceted and will require the following competencies: digital literacy or technical knowledge, full engagement, dealing with information and cognitive overload, flexibility and adaptability, lifelong micro-learning and personal development, emotional intelligence and social skills, cultural and other diversity, transdisciplinary approach, mobile force and remote work, and understanding of the generation gap, and high-level digital ethics. This figure lists 5 specific roles that the information management workforce currently performs and some major IT tools that might be beneficial in making their work more efficient and effective. The roles include information searching, evaluation and review, processing and sharing, maintenance, preservation, and disposal. Some IT tools already offer huge benefits for reaching higher quality while performing these functions. For example, open repositories, artificial intelligence, and machine learning algorithms, harvesting tools, cognitive search, and others. Besides the obvious benefits, there are also fears of possible negative impact. Fast digital transformation and continued automation efforts threaten to replace human involvement and intervention, making the need for information management professionals redundant. However, as long as there is interest in using and mastering these tools, the need for skilled workforce will continue to exist. Therefore, the existence and operational deployment of modern IT tools can be beneficial for information management professionals, as well as for end users. Open-mindedness, quality education, and well-planned training can make this transition less painful, faster, and more useful for every stakeholder involved. According to a recent study by the World Economic Forum, augmentation of existing jobs through technology may free up workers from the majority of data processing and information search tasks. In other words, there is a direct threat to all those jobs that are predominantly oriented towards information retrieval, search, and information delivery, such as with many information management related positions. The major challenge that digital transformation brings to the workplace is in fact a very old problem. The advance of technology almost always outpaces existing workplace structures, and that is also the case with the latest trend. Lines of command, strict hierarchy, no agility, long decision-making processes, lack of flexibility, complex structures and legacy, human resource or HR solutions are just some of those issues companies undergo transformation have to deal with. Still, there are some useful approaches that can mitigate this organizational challenge. They include a determination to use new IT tools to enhance communication, collaboration, and knowledge sharing across disparate teams, create strong IT infrastructure and IT literacy. Ensure digital dexterity to fluidly and dynamically reconfigure and deploy both human and digital resources at the speed of rapidly changing technological and market conditions. Foster digital culture to move away from paper culture to digitally born, user-generated, collaboratively created content, to increase the use of social media, virtual and augmented reality tools. Remove information silos to create open access data lakes, warehouses and repositories as the basis for new intelligence, idea generation and more effective decisions. Implement agile, fluid and flexible teams to deliver quicker and higher quality results. Decrease waste of time and effort, better use resources and make staff more involved. Introduce remote work to offer communication, collaboration and learning at any time, at any place, proven to be utmost important during the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to the above-mentioned general concerns, information management workforce often undergoes financial, HR and other cuts. Frequent restructuring of units that deal with information management lead to the diminishing importance and stability of those activities. In the long run, the ability of work spectrum of services offered and the number of information resources available become less significant, and information management loses its importance and its role within the organization. Impact on the role of leadership. Just as the business world needs leaders, digital transformation also needs leaders. Transformational leadership skills are essential and require the active involvement of the different stakeholders affected by the transformation. It is a people issue, not a technology one. Leadership widely differs from management. Leadership is the art of influencing others to achieve their maximum performance to accomplish any task. Leaders need to offer a clear answer as to why there is a need for change and what the purpose of problem is that needs to be resolved. They also need to manage the structural changes and organizational barriers that affect the positive and negative outcomes of the process of digital transformation. The goal of implementing digital transformation should not be to add new technology for its own sake. Instead, The goal should be to improve organization competitiveness and productivity to achieve better results and high-quality services in all areas of activity. This includes information management as well. Automation of information processes, search, distribution, and its use together with the introduction of new information technologies should not be the goals by themselves, but rather ways of bringing new value to the organization. Skills and competencies required from a new breed of leaders should encompass forward-thinking, visionaries, strategists, custom focus, open communication, partnerships and collaboration, data-driven decision-making, devoted team builders, strong believers in the value of information and its sharing, emphasis on the key performance indicators, value measurement and analytics, tech-savvy, agile risk-takers, employee empowerment, talent promotion, support for creativity, innovation, experimentation, continuous improvement, quick learners, leading by example, and role modeling. Leaders play unique but very important roles. They need to be bulldozers to remove obstacles, champions, coaches, connectors, managers, visionaries, developers, mentors, motivators, communicators, and owners, deciders. There are still some companies, organizations, and individuals that are slow to accept the importance and depth of the impact of current developments. There are 4 reasons that might be the cause of this. Firstly, the obvious impact of digital transformation is not yet given the necessary attention. Secondly, because of the unpredictability, there is a lack of imagination and strategy. Thirdly, there is a lack of encouragement towards innovation. And fourthly, there is an evident lack of relevant competencies and innovation culture. The sustainability. Information becomes sustainable if the following requirements are met. Information needs to be available, retrievable, usable, valuable, and operational. Availability relates to long-term preservation, which includes physical or electronic storage of information, easy search, efficient retrieval, and format recognition, which is directly related to usability. All the elements mentioned here can be challenging tasks in the long term due to fast development and frequent changes of IT systems, formats, standards, and protocols. The information retrieval needs to bring value to its new users, which is achieved through long-term lifecycle document management. All systems need to be fully operational and well maintained, which requires periodic updates, changes, and if needed, complete replacements. This is especially the case with outdated formats and proprietary file formats which might become unusable over time. Sustainability also requires trained staff capable of operating the systems, which might be old and out of sync with the equipment used for similar tasks at a particular moment in time. Therefore, information professionals need to be trained in at least 3 different areas. They need to have adequate knowledge of legacy systems, a good understanding of new IT systems and applications, as well as a good grasp of general information management practices and procedures. Only with a combination of all these elements can we assume that information management at hand meets all the requirements to be regarded as sustainable. In conclusion, in the last few decades, developments in information technology have had an immense impact on the way we manage information in general. The same impact is also visible in the way we create, disseminate, use, and preserve information. Many things have already been substantially changed, and even bigger changes are imminent. As wisely stated by Charles Darwin long ago, it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change. Information management practice and information management professionals will be facing many changes, forcing them to make the necessary moves and adapt to new realities brought about by digital transformation. Dependence on IT tools is already considerable. However, it will continue to grow with innovation, new developments, the implementation of new solutions, and new, sometimes competing requirements. The impact of digital transformation will be felt by industries and all types of work activities, including information management. The changing nature of information management can be easily seen by the increase in its types, the volume, the speed of its creation, the trustworthiness, and its value. To achieve long-term sustainability, information needs to become more easily available and retrievable, usable, valuable, and fully operational over long periods of time. Information management professionals need to develop a new digital mindset so that they can continue to be valuable and respected staff members of future organizations. Workplaces have already experienced a taste of the possible future with the introduction of a new normal, while adapting to the COVID-19 pandemic and working from home. Besides directly impacting the nature of information management, its workforce and the workplace, the role of leadership will also change. A completely new set of skills and competencies will be required from future leaders. Information management has already been impacted and undergone major changes due to digital transformation. To cope with these changes and counter the speed of change, new working and learning behaviors and new management skills need to be quickly acquired. Finally, we should remember that the major factor for successful change is not the technology itself, but rather the people working with our technology. Therefore, constantly improving and obtaining new knowledge is essential for the success of digital transformation in the area of information management. Thank you for your attention.